style backpack rap is that?
I got that off-black Cadillac, midnight drive, got that gas pedal lean.
Hey everybody, Jocksters89 here. So today I want to talk about Project Scorpio, or Xbox's new Scorpio. Yeah, Project Scorpio. So in my last video in the Xbox versus PS4 Pro, I was talking about how they were kind of assuming that the new box would be around $399. That sounds like it might not be the case. So what they're thinking now is more around $599. But here's why. So the reason that they are waiting so long to bring out Project Scorpio is because they're kind of working around AMD's new Ryzen CPU line. Because, I mean, as we all kind of know, the PS4 Pro is kind of having a hard time with their whole native 4K deal, just because they're rocking a very nice GPU, but they're using an old Jaguar CPU, so it's kind of bottlenecking. The GPU. So they're using the Polaris GPU, but they're using an outdated Jaguar CPU. So it's the GPU's power has to be scaled down to prevent bottlenecking, which is kind of a bummer because the 4K games are seeing some frame rate issues, and in some super sampled 1080p games are also seeing some frame rate issues. So, and they're also talking about, so they're waiting for Ryzen to come out, or Ryzen, whatever you want to call it, for AMD, but they're also waiting for the Vega GPU, which will be really cool. So they're thinking it'll sit somewhere between Polaris and Vega in kind of that sweet spot right in between. It will be a 14 nanometer GPU architecture, but it's probably going to be a tailor-made complement of both of them. Well, because they can't, they obviously can't shove a full-size GPU inside of the Xbox. So that's kind of what they're thinking is going to be between Polaris and Vega. So this thing is going to be a freaking monster. So confirmed so far, we know we are guaranteed 6 teraflops of performance, 320 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth, which is awesome, and then 8 CPU cores. And the reason that they're waiting for Ryzen from AMD is because of that 8 CPU core. So this thing is going to be an absolute monster. So the reason it's going to cost so much is because obviously those higher end products like AMD's Ryzen technology and their Vega, if it is Vega, GPU, obviously those things are not cheap. So another reason they're also thinking that it's not going to be a Polaris GPU is because right now the RX 480 is hitting around 5.5 teraflops. It can do 4K gaming, but it's mostly made for 1080p. But you don't have a dedicated spot and the cooling array and stuff like that inside of the Xbox. So that's why they're going to do something kind of in between, just to reach that 6 teraflop, especially since the GPU and the CPU kind of sit right next to each other. Alright, so it also sounds like Microsoft is going to be doing a pretty cool trade-up program. So they're going to allow existing Xbox One and Xbox One S owners to trade in their system to shave off the price of the Scorpio. So that's kind of another indication, or an indicator that it's not going to cost $399. Because I mean, where are they going to make their money on that? Especially if they're throwing in these high-end parts. I mean, there's no possible way they can make any money doing that kind of stuff. So here's some of the things that Microsoft has said about Project Scorpio. That's kind of tipping people off that this thing is going to be a pricey mo. It's saying that Scorpio will deliver the highest res at the best frame rates with no compromises, and feature the most powerful graphics processor that's ever been put into a game console. They're also saying, this is the console that developers asked us to build, which honestly is awesome, because if they're actually listening to their consumers, Nintendo Switch, if they're actually listening to their developers, I mean, having the company that makes the hardware working with the people making the games, I mean, there's no better handshake. I mean, honestly, if both of them are on the same page and everybody's working together, we are the ones that benefit from that. Yeah, I mean, they're saying this thing, you get 4K gaming, true 4K, native 4K, 60 hertz, no uncompressed pixels, no anything like that. I mean, this thing is going to be a beast. Alright, and they're also saying that it's going to support Oculus Rift VR, which is very cool. I know that Sony has their own VR headset, but just the fact that it's going to be working with another company, another manufacturer, instead of making their own, one that's already been, you know, tested and proven, is going to come in and be able to work with that. That's pretty cool. All right, so anyway, guys, that's just kind of, I just wanted to talk. Once I saw that they are waiting for the new Ryzen, and I'm really hoping that AMD is not hyping this Vega and Ryzen. Just, I hope they're not hyping it up. I really hope it is what they say it is, and it can do what they say it can do. Because if it does, I mean, this is kind of off topic a little bit, but if it does, it just means more competition for Intel. Prices are going to start dropping. Hopefully Intel doesn't just have something up their sleeve and then they're just like, well, you know, you're late to the game, but we have all this other technology. Anyway, it's just going to be really cool to see what happens as far as the CPU and GPU part of technology goes. Just because it's going to mean better gaming for us. It's going to mean a lot of things, better content creation and things like that. So I think it's pretty cool. I got really excited once I saw that they're might be putting a Vega GPU inside of the new Xbox Scorpio and a Ryzen chip. I mean, that's just really cool to me. It's kind of a bummer that they're talking about it being almost $600, but you know, you get what you pay for. So hopefully this thing's just badass and we can just all enjoy. All right, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Please leave a comment if you guys want to. I will always answer your comments. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
I'm in love with the cocoa.